Well, fine. Good afternoon, all. This is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. I am at Brown Canyon today, and which is near Sierravista, Arizona. So we're going to be going inside this building here. Let me tell you a little something about it first. Under historical preservation, which is right here, the adobe ranch house here is more than 100 years old. It is an excellent and rare example of construction from the early 1900s and is eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. The Coronado National Forest and the Friends of Brown Canyon Ranch are partners preserving this historic ranch through historical research, restoring structures, forming community partnerships, educational programs. All projects done at Brown Canyon Ranch provide interpretive and recreational opportunities to support its continued preservation. If you want to learn more, go to browncanyonranch.org. All right, so let's head in. All right, so we're in the courtyard, and we can see it has a stone foundation all the way around here. And apparently when you come here, it's closed between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., so overnight. But otherwise, it's open. So apparently all the doors are unlocked. So let's go through this one right here, up the concrete steps. Okay, you can read the sign if you wish, and you know I'm going to read it to you. So I'll let you look at some beautiful mesquite trees. Those are the trees right in front there. And let me read this to you. The ranch house and other structures and features at Brown Canyon Ranch are preserved and maintained under a cooperative program among the Coronado National Forest, the Friends of Brown Canyon Ranch, and numerous school and community groups and educational programs, and individual volunteers. This collaborative effort has made possible preservation, interpretive, and educational programs. Please enjoy your visit to the ranch. Respect the sensibilities and safety of the resources and other visitors, and help us protect this unique heritage site. All right, let's see about going in. Look at this beautiful door, by the way. Did that remind you of a haunted house door or what? Okay, I freely admit that I'm dorky about stuff like that. Okay, so here we have the Brown family and the Haverty family. Back up a little further. Okay, that's all of it. So you'll have to pinch and all that good stuff, but let me read it to you. The Brown family. Brown Canyon was named for John T. Brown, who brought his family to live in the canyon around 1880. The family, consisting of his wife Mary and their children Charles, James, Mary, Floyd, Maud, and Royal, settled in the canyon about a mile up from the mouth. No definite location has been recorded for this structure. Another child, Glenn, was born a year or so later. Brown had been a rancher, woodcutter, farmer, carpenter, and hotel keeper. In 1880, an edition of the Tombstone Epitaph, yes, that was their newspaper, labeled the first canyon north of Ramsey Canyon as Brown Canyon. And here we have John Brown, guessing this is he right there. John Brown, for whom Brown Canyon was named. The location is possibly Flagstaff, where John Brown moved after leaving Brown Canyon. And there's that. And then the Haverty family. All right, now let's talk about the Haverty family. Robert and Amanda Haverty, with their large family of 12 children, including James, Tom, Dick, Pete, and Pearl, came to the eastern slope of the Huachucamountains in the early 1900s. Around 1905, Tom Haverty built the L-shaped adobe house for his older brother Jim in front of the mouth of Brown Canyon. which was a location further down the canyon from the Browns. James Haverty submitted a homestead application in 1908, claiming residence since 1901. Jim and his wife, Leslie May, received the patent for the homestead in 1912 and lived there with children Clay, Ellis, Leslie May, and Amanda Pearl for another 10 years. Their cattle operation included a contract to supply Fort Huachuca with beef. That must have been a lucrative contract. Their house was the first in the East Huachuca area to have running water with a kitchen sink, bathtub, and basin. The house also had 2 fireplaces. The large living room was often used for weekend dances. How cool is that? An adobe storehouse was built directly north of the ranch house. In April 1921, a family feud between Jim and his brother Dick reached a peak. During an argument about the ownership of cattle, Jim shot and killed Dick. Jim stood trial, was found guilty, and was sentenced to prison in Florence. Jim sold the ranch soon after he was convicted. While he went to prison, his family moved to Tempe. When Jim was released after 5 years, he and Leslie May divorced. Jim lived in Prescott until his death in 1960. Most of the other Haverty family members also left in the 1920s. So this picture here is Dick Haverty, circa 1913. He was born in 1890. He's the one who was shot and fatally wounded on April 23, 1921, by his brother James. The photo is from the Manzanita Cowboys and Twine Pasture Fences, page 101. That's a doggone shame. And then this is Jim Haverty, age 21, born in 1884. And this photo is from the same place, the Manzanita Cowboys and Twine Pasture Fences, page 18. This is James Haverty and his wife, Leslie May, 1929. Same book, page 140. This is Pete Haverty, age 10, on his horse Roan, born in 1893 in Oklahoma and given the nickname Oklahoma Pete by his family. Same book, page 15. Pearl Haverty is in the center, born in 1895 with her friends Ethel on the left and Margaret Sampson on the right. Page 49, same book. Virgil Haverty and his brother Dell, sitting on the front steps of the old Todd Ranch house in Carr Canyon. Virgil was born in 1925 in the Adobe Ranch house in Brown Canyon to Pete and Margaret Sampson Haverty. Wow. Pete Haverty and his wife Margaret Sampson Haverty. Photos courtesy of Rosemary Snap. Remember, this is Oklahoma Pete. And let me just catch you up with this. One of the Havertys who did not leave immediately was a legendary one-legged cowboy, Oklahoma Pete Haverty. In the 1920s, Pete and his wife, Margaret, rented the Brown Canyon house from William Carmichael. Their son Virgil was born there in 1925. Shortly afterward, the family moved to the Todd Ranch in Carr Canyon, which they purchased from Margaret's mother, Elizabeth Todd. Pete Haverty became a legend in the whole area and was highly respected. He never let himself be slowed down by his loss of one leg and became a remarkably skilled cowboy. Later, during World War II, when many ranchers and cowboys were away, Pete took care of numerous ranches. Oklahoma Pete Haverty lost his left leg in an accident when he was 4 years old. His leg was injured, gangrene set in, and his leg had to be amputated above the knee to save his life. We can see in this photo that he is indeed missing his left leg. All right. can't get over there into the corner to show you the pictures individually, so I'm going to read you the yellow histories, and then you'll have to pinch the video once you're watching it. Carmichael family. William and Margaret Carmichael owned the ranch from 1921 to 1946. They were major landowners in the area, but did not live on the ranch. William Carmichael not only bought the house and ranch property from Jim Haverty, but also his cattle. No doubt his main motivation for acquiring the ranch was that, like Haverty, Carmichael held a contract for providing beef to Fort Huachuca. He also took over Haverty's permit to graze cattle on the Coronado National Forest allotment. Carmichael took over the water pipeline dating from the 1880s out of Brown Canyon soon after he purchased the land and redirected it to the ranch. The Forest Service gave him authorization to use the water, but suggested it, quote, would be best, but that is not essential, unquote, to talk about it with the Boquillas Company, who had acquired the pipeline when it purchased extensive holdings of the Green Cattle Company. Harvey James, owner of several mining claims up Brown Canyon, sometimes rented the ranch house during the winter. Pete Haverty and family lived at the ranch house for a few years in the 1920s. Francisco Chico Rodriguez, who worked for the Carmichaels, lived there together with his wife, Rafael Perez, and family. Mexican-American community. The Carmichaels permitted a significant number of Mexican-American families to live and work on Brown Canyon Ranch. This close-knit community was comprised of Mexican nationals as well as Mexican-Americans. Alfredo Gonzalez, his son, Luis, and son-in-law, Paulo Catalan, worked on the military base, and a few of the men worked as ranch hands. Most of the men, however, worked as woodcutters for a private contractor supplying Fort Huachuca with firewood for heating and cooking. Several families built cabins located to the northwest of the adobe ranch house. They also had vegetable gardens and chickens. In addition, a large number of single men, also woodcutters, camped near the ranch. The families, including a number of children, enjoyed getting together, often to socialize, share food, and dance. At least one family had a record player and records. At night, kerosene lanterns were hung on oak trees to light the dirt dance floor. The dirt floor was sprinkled with water and swept to make it hard and to keep the dust down. During Prohibition, some of the men learned to make beer and wine, and visitors from Mexico brought tequila or mezcal to liven up the party. The names of some of the families who lived on Brown Canyon Ranch at that time are Moreno, Valenzuela, Gonzalez, Laguna, Garcia, Catalan, Estrella, Arvizu, Rescon, and Asmar. By the way, in the comments below, if I screwed up any of those names, please phonetically spell it for me. I would appreciate it. All right. This is the state brand book, like putting a brand, using a branding iron. James Woodson Haverty and his wife, Leslie May, in 1905. What is that? I can't quite read that. Here's a picture of the ranch. Not sure when. Forest Services, Department of Agriculture. This is a granny cow. Let me tell you what it says. Purchased by Roy as a group of groping calves from Shreveport, Louisiana, around 1947. Wild at first, Granny became very tame, became one of Roy's favorite cows. She was 3/4 Brahma with one horn up and one horn down. Roy and the Barchas kept every calf she ever had, many of them the beginning of a chain that continues to this day. Granny Cow lived on the ranch in Brown Canyon as queen of the herd as long as she lived, dying at the age of 23 from cancer of the horn. Oh, that had been incredibly painful. All right, some more to tell you about here. The Rambo family. Don't know why I felt the need to roll the R, but I did. Again, I can't really get close enough, so I'll read you the big yellow signs, and then you can read them on your own afterwards. Roy and Stella Rambo purchased Brown Canyon Ranch from the Carmichaels in December 1946. At that time, the Brown Canyon Spring was not part of the ranch. In 1948, the Rambos bought all the water rights and pipes for the spring from the Boquias Land and Cattle Company. They also obtained a Forest Service grazing permit to graze cattle on the Brown Canyon allotment, which continued the procedures previously used by Haverty and Carmichael. The Rambos did not live at Brown Canyon Ranch. The family residence was a stone house of the OY Ranch. The OY consisted of 6 sections of land west of the San Pedro River, south of Hereford, and east of Highway 92. The road it was on is still known as Rambo Road. The Brown Canyon Ranch House was used as headquarters for the crossbreed cattle operation which Ray pioneered. He started with Hereford cattle, crossbreeding with a Brahma bull. He also crossed Brahma cattle with a Black Angus bull, Black Brangus cattle. His herd won several awards. A stone bunkhouse was located just south of the adobe ranch house. Some of the foundation still remains. One of the ranch hands was Cruz Valenzuela, who became a good friend of the Rambo family. This is Roy Rambo. Roy Rambo, later 1970s, after selling Brown Canyon Ranch to the Barchas family in 1956, Roy continued with the ranching operation until his death in 1984. Last bit of reading, and I'll show you the house. Barchas family. Maybe Barchas? I'm not sure. You can correct me. The Barchas family. Sam Barchas was a distinguished trial lawyer from Los Angeles. In 1956, he had a massive heart attack, and he and his wife Cecile decided to try and build a new life, ranching the rangeland along what is now Highway 92. The Rambos sold the OY Ranch along with the Brown Canyon Ranch to Sam Barchas in 1957. Sam ran the ranch with Cecile and 7 of their 8 children, Sarah, Judy, Mark, Rudy, Rachel, David, and Rebecca. Jack was in medical school. Roy Rambo was a great help to the family in learning the art of ranching. The focus of their cattle raising operation was at the main ranch, the OY Ranch, while the Brown Canyon Ranch continued to be the headquarters for their crossbreeding operations. Sarah Barchas. In 1961, Sam and Cecile Barchas left the ranching life and moved to Tucson. Sam sold most of the property, but he gave his daughter Sarah the property known as Brown Canyon Ranch, 160 acres. During the time that Sarah owned the ranch, she replaced the rusted original ranch house metal roof with a new corrugated metal roof and created a wild duck pond north of the house pond. The old ranch house continued to be used as headquarters for the cattle operation, which continued to have the help and advice of Roy Rambo. In later years, the ranch and livestock were maintained by caretakers Kenneth and Ann Hudgens. Sarah Barchas had always wanted to preserve this beautiful ranch and worked with the Forest Service from 1988 to 1998 to achieve that goal through a land exchange. This is Sam and Cecile Barchas. In case you'd like to read that. And that. Brown Canyon Ranch, quote, a beautiful place where time stood still. That's Rachel Barchas. This is Sam Barchas at the ranch. Sarah Barchas sniffing noses with little granny cow. Sniffing noses is the way cows greet one another. There we go. And then down here, Sam and Cecile Barchas taking a stroll in the high country up in Brown Canyon. Okay, let's look at the house. It has furnishings. The fireplace, one of the ones you know it has, the OY barchasranch. Nice double mantle. Definitely a homemade side table over there. Can you imagine dancing in this place? Wow. Would you like to see my feet doing that? I used to dance. Love the chairs. Those are really comfy. I didn't sit in anything, just from memory. Oh, and these are fabulously comfy chairs. Again, I've not sat on anything in here. Cattle brands. In case we forget, this is a ranch house. Rocking diamond B. From left to right, top. Circle K. Pitchfork. Flying 4. Walking A. Running M. Bar S bar. Bar MK. O bar. Lazy T. JM. Swinging R. 4 6s. C bar C. Diamond H. Running W. Look at this 1950s kitchen. Dining table setup. It could be older. But how many of us have eaten on plates like this, right? And used cutlery like that? How many of us, I mean, I'm 59, and I remember chairs like this, which are crazy comfortable, great for sitting down and having a meal. I remember cups and plates like this. More photos. Nothing to read though. And the beginning reservation process. And wildness is the preservation of the world. And I'm guessing this is the sink with the running water, because I see this is the hole. I guess this is the hole for the faucet to come out. And a washboard. I've never used a washboard, but they're not easy. Look at the Dutch ovens. I mean, very heavy, still very heavy. Guessing this is aluminum. Yep, it's aluminum. I'm surprised there's rust in there. I didn't think aluminum rusted. Part of his draw. Oh! I think that's a... I thought it was a juicer. My friend has this great juicer she got at a yard sale. Really easy to use. Okay, improved whirl. This looks like a washing machine. But if you know for a fact what it is, please enlighten me. I don't mind being corrected when I'm wrong. Also reminds me a bit, I don't think it's this, but it reminds me a bit of a pram. Holy cow. It's a Westinghouse. What's it, a Westinghouse? What is this thing? Top does not come up. Huh. Well, we can see the circuitry. Looks something like something easy you could work with. And these stoves, I have to say, these things will outlive us. So oven, so the tops I guess that's how you turn on the burners, and then you move the dial. I understand these are warming drawers, not just a place to store your stuff, which is what I do with mine. Hardwick, a clock as well. Who doesn't love that? Now this is a pretty heavy. And a picture I had seen online, it was a waffle maker. But it doesn't appear to have the bottom piece anymore. Whoops. And then it looks like a storage cabinet over here. Could be. All right, got another room to go. All right, so we're entering another room. Kind of a... light. Oh, light is good. Thank you. Well, I don't know. Is this a bedroom? Has a bookcase right here. And another door here. I don't know what this room would have been used for. Maybe a bedroom. Lots of horseshoes.
Oh, yeah.
And an iron.
See, I got a friend here from Vermont. It's her fault too.
All right, so here's the fireplace. Double mantle. I thought this was a toy box, but nope, for wood. Logs and all that. This is the, you may recall when we walked in, there's the door over there. This is one of the side doors. This lovely side porch. And let's go over here and read what this sign says on the bench here. Then I'll go back in. My friend is on the other side. Whew. First step's steep. Whew. Tall, rather. Sarah Barchas. Dedication and commitment to preservation of Western heritage and education for all. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. I missed that on the way in. Okay. So peaceful. If you come, you want to slide that slider there to the left. Grab it from the middle, slide it to the left. Don't do what I did, just dumb. Okay, let's come back in. Oh. Another picture on the wall. The floor is a little spongy right there. Alright, well, this is Patricia and I'm traveling for history. Thank you so much for coming with me today as I walked the Brown Canyon Ranch. This is really cool. Oh, and beadboard on the ceiling. Love that. Can we say never has to be painted? Yep. And until I see you again, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.